Where are your shoes? Can you find your shoes? No, those are my shoes. Just put on your shoes. What are you doing? No, put that down. It's a vase. It's called a vase. No. Those are your pants. What are you doing in your pants? Oh, did you just pee yourself? Has anyone ever been to Watrous?
Yeah.
Really? It's so, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Watrous, or also known as Lake Manitou, it has this resort. I call it a resort. It's not much of a resort. It's more like a bunker, like a Russian bunker with salt water. And people go and they float, and I enjoy it because it's like unlike anything I've ever seen before. And it attracts all kinds of really interesting people. And I'm from Southern Ontario, and we don't have Hutterites there. So Hutterites really enjoy the floating waters and Little Manitou, Lake Manitou. So my partner and I went. We took our kid for like a family vacation, and we went and we floated in the waters, and then we went out to dinner in this restaurant at the resort. And my partner and I walked in with our child, and we're sitting at this table eating our meal, and in comes this Hutterite couple. And so he's like all traditionally dressed, and she's wearing her long dress and her kerchief on, and like no makeup, and really plain and simple looking. And in come her children, and there's like 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6 and then 7. And I'm looking at this family, and I'm looking at this woman, and I'm like, how is that woman getting laid more than I am? Doesn't make sense. I have this joke that I like to tell people, and it's kind of like, you know what? Fuck, I forget it. Forget it, which means we'll have to edit it out. Okay, so how does it work? Has this ever happened to you where you're just like completely blank on a premise of a joke? Okay, no, not that one. I'm skipping it. Okay, so recently my partner and I decided we were going to go to a UFC event in Edmonton. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these things, an Ultimate Fighting Championship. I know we're not like the normal demographic and not what you would expect, but we decided we were going to go do something every day that scares you, I think is what they say. So we went to Edmonton, and we got these tickets. And the way UFC works is there's a whole bunch of like games, like matches between players. I don't know, athletes, and they're in this, and then there's like a bunch of them, and then there's a headlining act or match or something. Okay. We don't know. We don't care. So we're waiting in line to get through security at the center in Edmonton, and there's like 80,000 people going through security. And while we're in line, we learned that the headlining matchup, the guys, the men, have canceled because they're sick or something. I don't know, babies. Anyway, so then we find out that the next, in line, the second top people get to be the headlining act. And we're excited because it's 2 women. And we're like, that's pretty cool. There's like little girls in the audience. For some reason, people bring their children to this. And we were like, well, that's great. That's cool. That's pretty feminist-y. That's cool. That's great. So we get into the event, and we sit down with 80,000 men and little children. And they're ready for this event to happen. And so there's 7 matchups. And so you're there for hours, and people are getting more and more excited, waiting for the headliner. So the first guys come in, and they punch each other a lot, and there's blood, and then the next one's coming, and there's punching and blood, and then hours go by, and people are eating hot dogs, and there's little children, and then we get to the main event, these 2 women, and so we're getting pretty excited, and everyone in the audience has been waiting all day for this. They're ready for this to happen, and in walk these women, Shevchenko and Nunez were their names, and they come in, and everyone starts, and 80,000 people are gearing up for this, and these women get in their ring, and they start moving around each other with their fists up, and it seems that they're very good at not getting hit. So they're very effective at avoiding conflict, I guess. And the children next to me assure me this is very technically proficient. But the men around me are not having it. They're getting very frustrated. They just want a bloodbath. They've been waiting all day for the headlining matchup to just pummel each other. So they start yelling. They're like, just pull her hair. Just punch her in the tits. And I'm like, what's happening? This is intense, and more the audience is getting more and more frustrated that these women are just not touching each other. And then after a period of time, there's a bell that rings, a referee enters the ring, and because the time is up, declares one of them the winner, I guess the one who was the most effective at not getting hit, and then it's over. And there's like no bloodbath. And so there's 80,000 men around me that just are waiting for release. And I realize I've got 80,000 men around me with blue balls. And then I think to myself, 80,000 men are gonna go home knowing what it's like not to finish, which is a score one for feminism, right? So I was gonna leave you with one little story. My son is 5 and he's very interested in Shopkins. Is anyone familiar with Shopkins? It's these little, there's like collector items, and they also have a YouTube channel, and they're like little anthropomorphized things. So there's like a strawberry with arms and legs, and like a cookie with a face, and they have adventures, the things you might find at a grocery store, and they have adventures on this YouTube channel. And so my son comes home from daycare and says, "Mommy, I really want to watch Shopkins." And I said, "No." And he said, "Why not?" Well, not quite. He's like, "Why not?" And I said, "Well, why do you want to watch it?" And he said, "Well, because I want to be able to join in a conversation with my friends around the snack table about like a common interest that we all share." Wasn't quite how he said it, but it's what he meant. And I said, "No, you're not allowed to watch it." And he's like, "Well, why not?" And I said, "Well, because it's just vapid characterization of like, not real people. It's just going to encourage consumerism, and all this is going to, give you a lifestyle that you're unattainable, that you're never going to have." And then I remembered that I have been watching The Young and the Restless for 32 years. So who am I to judge? All right, that's it for me. Thanks, guys.
Jenny Ryan!